So, I have €1,000 to invest plus some skills, thinking of attempting dropshipping. So, I've been checking this forum for 2 years now. Since I've read MJ's books, I started to hate dropshipping and all those get-rich-quick schemes. I wanted to open this thread, because I'm planning to invest all my savings €1,000 on a single business. I'm 20 and been trying different stuff throughout the years. I started by selling graphic design stuff to people and quickly became proficient at that skill, selling PSDs at 14 and making like €200 a month passively. I knew nothing about money back then. I was just doing what I liked to do, graphic design for esports or COD teams. I knew nothing about what value creation was, but I was actually creating value since people were buying my stuff and leaving positive reviews. Somehow, at 16 I quit doing that stuff and started living the social life, because I thought that was the right thing to do. I quickly got the crabs in a bucket mentality, and for a year I've done nothing but go out every 2 nights and waste my f***ing time. Then again at 18 I started reading business books. Was the first book, then after a year I bought. I've also read other books like E-Myth, and some marketing ones. Somehow, with all this theory in my head, I began overthinking quite a lot of shit. I started a blog and quit that same blog a year after April 2020 and basically didn't get anything out of it. I then started a project with an ex-friend of mine who was a web developer. We wanted to create a social media for a particular niche. After 1 month of 12 hours a day of work, that project went to hell, since my partner left the project and I remained alone, with no knowledge about coding whatsoever. I also had no money to hire a web developer, so I had to quit the project, too. I then began learning to code. I've learned HTML and CSS, and some JavaScript. I still consider myself a beginner, but that's to be expected. I only spent 3 months learning. In Italy there's a shit ton of bureaucracy to start pretty much any business. It's generally not a good environment for entrepreneurs. And I think that's why dropshipping is so popular in Italy. It has no entry barriers, and I know this is a bad thing from a perspective, and kids can start this kind of business, and or I know what's the general view on dropshipping here, until I rationally thought about it. Dropshipping in general is strategy. But for a kid, for a 20 years old who only has €1,000 in his bank account, for a guy who has graphic design or web design or editing skills proof, and since the only way to differentiate your dropshipping business is by, you either have the skills to do this, or you outsource. And if you outsource, you end up spending a lot of money to fund a shitty business with no control. I think this is where the hate for dropshipping comes from. If you don't have the skills yourself, you'll be forced to invest a lot of money in a business which has very low ROIs. But if you have the skills to do most of the stuff, the main concern I have is, I have €1,000 to invest and want to invest them efficiently. My current hustle is a YouTube channel, and I have no idea how I could invest these money to boost my channel. I feel like spending money on ads to promote my channel isn't really worth it. How else would you spend these money? I'll still be working on my YouTube channel, but I struggle seeing it as a business. I see it more like a separate entity that in the long term will perhaps give its fruits or maybe not. I still want to start a business. But with just 1K I don't think I can start a big business whatsoever. My main goal is to move out of Italy and leave my parents' house ASAP. I'm not looking for a business which will make me a millionaire for now. I'm looking to start a business. I've read books like the 10x rule and it says dream big. I've been dreaming for months but nothing happened. I still have €1,000 in my bank account, and dreaming big won't make me able to start the next Amazon. That's why I start feeling like I just need to start. Hope this was easy to read. I was just spitting my thoughts and wanted to share my opinions on this whole topic of dropshipping. I had a very hateful view on dropshipping and all the people who used to do that. But a few days ago I started thinking about it rationally. Once again, I'm not saying dropshipping is a good business model. I'm just saying that for kids it might actually be an opportunity to make decent money or fail and learn some valuable skills. If you've made money before with your design skills, can you go back to that? Do logo and art design for teams. Set them up with custom merch if they want it, so dropshipping as an add-on to your skill set. Become the go-to guy for that. Teams and clans in online gaming are huge. People spend a lot of money on their games add-ons and their computer. I can see teams dropping money on logos and merch. I would recommend you not to focus too much on creating an online business. I know that for people in our age the internet seems to be the big place for making money. But the biggest money is still made in an offline world. There are more trustable and profitable business in the offline market than in the internet. Create a cleaning company and work with local offices can bring you faster profit than any online business in the beginning. Depends on your skills. You'll burn through £1,000 on FB ads before you know it. Maybe team up with someone who's got the cash to spend on DS. And you do the technical work. I thought about that multiple times. I can probably try by cold emailing 50 to 100 teams and see what happens. But that'd be hard to scale and it would be no different than a job where I exchange my time for money. Anyways, I'll keep this in mind. Thanks. The point is that, I know nothing about cleaning companies for instance. I have a bunch of skills and think it makes more sense to start any business where I can put these skills into use. I tried the offline world by contacting companies to sell them web design services, but there are so many agencies which do this kind of work. I feel like a small fish in a big ocean. In Italy there's little to no opportunity. Hence, the interest of start an online business. I didn't think about that. With FB ads I thought of doing a lot of research and make the ads as perfect as possible with the aid of graphic design or editing or copywriting, before spending money on that. I honestly am scared to partner up with somebody at this point after what happened in the past. Also, I'd start the business without a corporation just with VAT, as it costs a shit ton to start a business in Italy until I hit the maximum limit. This means I'm 100% liable for what happens. What is stopping you from hiring designers in the future? $1,000 was all I had left in my bank account too after my first painful lesson in the business world. Never hand over the full payment until you have the product, even if it's a friend. With $1K I thought I'd jump into the emoji app craze as the Kardashian emoji app had made 1 million in its first hour. But alas, it seems these only work with a well-established influencer. And even then it's tricky, as we've tried out several including models or charities and most of them expect you to do all the promoting as well. So if it's an emoji app you want and can do the graphics and source an influencer, then hit me up. But I wouldn't recommend it. With your strategy of perfecting the ad, that'll help you a lot in DS. However, one point in FB ads for DS is that it usually takes a lot of money to find a winner that'll make you back all the money. It's always like that with business, takes a lot of trial and error until you find a niche, a method, a selling point that you know works. Therefore, my opinion, €1,000 won't be enough. Having said that, if that amount won't break you, and you'll be able to make it again quickly, there's no harm in testing it. I'm just saying, if you're going to be broke for the next year if you lose this money, don't have high hopes with that amount of money. Try doing services in graphic design that makes you money maybe, then jump into it. At the end of the day, is your decision obviously. I'll definitely keep in mind this design service thing. It also makes sense cause that's one of the few skill I became proficient at. I'll start cold emailing as many esports teams as I can find tomorrow. I'll post an update here once I've contacted like 20 teams. Edit, I also think I'm going to get back doing UI challenges cause those small wins will keep me going. I also realized one thing. When I was 14 I didn't give a SHT about anything and just took action without caring about anything for real. Lol, I probably made 250 to 300 social media banners in a year when I was a kid. Now I quit after 2 attempts at anything I do. It really looks like my mindset is effed up. Freelancing on Fiverr plus dropshipping on Shopify and Amazon FBA equals Bugatti Veyron. Think bigger. If you check my thread on the inside you'll learn that €1.000 without any marketing experience will get you probably 0 sales and you'll learn probably nothing. Unless you are ready to lose the money and learn something, I wouldn't suggest it. Definitely not dropshipping as a business model. Unless it's a product that's in demand and you're working with a manufacturer directly. I would rather you focus on your freelancing skills, and once you have the money to throw away I'd combine it with e-commerce. One pays for bills and gets money to invest in the other. That's still Italian. How about a Knigsk? Hi Vic. If I were in your shoes I wouldn't touch that 1k. If you really want to, spend half of it now. Let's think a bit creatively. Italy is known for high-quality products. You could look around and sell something premium, leather belts etc. Even advertising hook like this belts are made in small village near Palermo, could add extra value to US buyer. And you could price it no matter what it costs to produce. Dropshipping was easy 6 years ago and people raked in cash like no one else. Which I wish to you, but also to warn you, why don't you get a job or sell all your stuff to have more money to start with? I'm gonna jump in. As others have said, with $1,000, you're most likely going to blow through it in 2 weeks if you go the dropshipping route. As others suggested, do what you've already got the skills for. At least get some cash flow from that. Once you've got cash flow, if you want to experiment or dropshipping, go for it. Also, there's nothing wrong with exchanging some time for money. You have to start somewhere. And freelancing, which is basically what you're doing, isn't a bad way to go. You can always go project-based and it's more of a separation from time versus money. Price the projects right or get considerable expertise in one field and the price can go up significantly. Here's a harebrained idea. Go find an agency or brand or people that are doing significant e-com volume. Intern or get a job doing graphic design work. Learn how to sell or market products as a byproduct of working for them while honing your skill set and getting paid. Now, you've not only got the graphic design ability, you'll know how to market or sell online. Bada bing, bada boom. Thanks for everyone's advice. I'll try putting my graphic design skills into use and figure out how I can add value to people either in my city or by contacting esports teams. It's actually a great idea to rack up as much cash as possible and then start a business with a greater business model. Local dropshipping is definitely a better idea than dropshipping from China. Actually, it wasn't even in my mind to dropship from China cause I knew it's a dead end. One thing that's been stopping me for a while is that I have this thought that in Italy it's full of digital marketing or design agencies already and the market couldn't get even more saturated. But I'll still try and figure out a way. Gotta try all the options. I'm only reading about a method. Dropshipping. Not a problem and solution. If you solve a real problem, no one cares if you dropship, or if your ads are ugly. Focus on solving problems. For example, you are one of many people that say that starting a business in Italy is expensive. Why not solve that problem? Make it cheaper. Or find alternatives. It is really hard to solve. But that why you will make money when you solve it, that's interesting. I think it all comes down to doing it the right way, as mentioned in that post. If you execute way better than average, you'll probably do okay. That's why I wanted to get into it. Honestly, I actually don't think the barriers to entry as low as people make it look like. If you execute better than average, you need either capital or skills. Facebook ads is a skill in itself, and I currently know nothing about it, and it will take effort and time to learn how to do all that stuff. Even finding local dropshippers is not easy. I don't think it's as easy as sending an email. I know nothing about import or export neither, so I'll have to figure that out, too. It's generally not all about setting a Shopify store. It's more than that. So many people think it's all about setting a Shopify store and learning how to create a funnel. It's not. I've seen some YouTube videos where some gurus rated their fans' stores, and I've seen some awful stores with no logo, no branding, no consistency, and a general air of money chasing kids who think it's all about setting a store and expecting to make sales. This makes sense. I didn't intend to jump into dropshipping and sell the latest useless gadget, to be honest. I would have done thoughtful research, both for the niche and for the entire process, cause I'm a complete beginner and I know zero about e-commerce, and I think that's a great opportunity to learn about it. Starting a business in Italy is expensive due to taxes. I hate to be that guy who finds excuses, but this is what it is. 50 to 55% of your profits go to the government. That's just a fact. Not to talk about the fact that you must pay the government even before you see any kind of revenue from your business. So you spend like $4,000 even if you make zero sales. I don't know if this helps, but I just love the Travel Like a Boss podcast. He's got some really interesting episodes on dropshipping as well. I know nothing about dropshipping, but I do love his podcast. He may be a fake guru, I don't know. To be honest, the only fake gurus I specialize in are the religious fundamentalist ones who take advantage of their followers' fears and anxieties and are currently trying to bring 1930s-style fascism to the USA through the Republican Party. #StrangerThanFiction. Can you move? Like somewhere in the Europe, Germany, Czech Republic? Gosh, $4,000 up front. Sorry for you. Yeah, there is a company which helps people evade taxes in my area in Italy and lower business costs, which made like 60 million in revenue last year. It's kind of a legalized criminality, like everyone knows they use loopholes etc. But they manage to not get too many fines on their clients, so at the end of the day whatever they do is working. I don't think Vic has the knowledge to run such an organization right now though, so maybe he could work on that in the future, maybe study some Italian legislation etc. Yeah, it's a little bit of an exaggeration, but he's taking into account running it for a year without any profits. I think immediate costs are more like 1k, less if you go with an unlimited campaign like €150, but then you risk your own assets. By the way, he's very wrong in dollars maintaining a company without turning profits with only one owner, insurance etc. Actually costs 5.5k or 6k plus €500 for registration. It comes at around 8k in dollars for the first year that you must pay no matter what. That's why I'd advise in most people cases to have a job while founding your first company. You'll get the insurance part paid by your job and your actual costs will be about 2 or 3k for the first year, which is much more sustainable and low risk since you're also getting a €1,500 salary. Guess. In Italy you just can't carelessly start a business because of how the system is set up, but once you start working it's doable like everywhere else. Also, WTF, are you really expecting to not make 6k in your first year doing business? If so, don't even bother and earn your 20k at a job without headaches. If you have a plan to execute, there will always be a solution. If you just want to open a company randomly for the sake of it, you can't without consequences. We are a little more drastic because being young kids with little money saved up, it feels impossible. Let's just remember that there are illiterate people making bank with unsexy businesses every day in Italy. If they can, why shouldn't we with all the info we learned from this forum? Check this article for some examples at the end. They estimate about €11k with 2 owners. Obviously if there's only one it's not half because some expenses aren't split. This was on my plans. I'm still in university and honestly it's a f***ing heavy brick on my legs. I want to drop out and move out from Italy, but I'm still figuring out whether the consequences of dropping out actually have a payoff in the long term. That's why I want to actually take action now and make money, and if I make enough money to survive, which is my primary goal right now, dropping out and leaving Italy will definitely be a great choice. Paradoxically, it's true that getting a job might give me more monetary returns in Italy, at least in the short term. Sent 12 emails the other day to different esports companies. Currently 1 reply not interested and 0 conversions. I guess this is 100% normal. I wonder if there's a better and more efficient way to walk through this. Could you find phone numbers or contacts for those companies and get them on the phone for a quick call? Also, do the emails you're sending show the value you can provide for those companies? Cold emailing can be tricky at first. Definitely keep going though, don't get discouraged by a low response or engagement. Thanks for the advice. Cold calling might be a way. I'll see what I can do. The email pitch wasn't very well thought. I didn't want to overthink it, so I tried to be as upfront as possible and still remember to add what's in it for them. Reading your example email, firstly it's too focused on you. Businesses aren't interested in hearing about you, or your qualifications. I mean no disrespect here, just bear with me. They're interested in hearing how you can solve their problems. What can you do for them specifically? Currently you're telling them what you know how to do, but not giving them a reason to need you or your services. Instead of having your email contain all the I statements, such as I wanted to know whether you were hiring graphic designers for your team or I'm mainly specialized in social media design, focus on the problem you can solve for them, or the value you can provide. Also, try making the email more personal. Try to find the contact info for someone who works in the company that you can address the email to. The personal touch is much more likely to get a response. Try something like this: hi, person who works for company. Find this on their website if you have to. I took a look at the graphics on your website and I noticed XXXX, a problem you found, something you can improve on, copy you could make better, etc. This could be impacting your company's sales, conversion rate, engagement, etc. I'd love to hop on a call and discuss how I can help you with this. I've gotten results for insert previous client you did good work for and insert another client you've done work for in similar areas in the past, so I'm sure I can help your company as well. Let me know what you think. Thanks for your time, Victor. Use the email to get your prospect on the phone for a call, find out what their pain points are, what's bothering them about their business. Then convert them into a paying customer by pitching your services in the way that will solve their problems or pain points. Do this by knowing your stuff, answering their questions, pitching your services in a way that is focused on solving their company's problems, and so on. People are much more open to buying from you or hiring you when they can hear your voice and trust you. Don't focus on quoting money over the phone though. Use the conversation to lead into additional emails and get the conversion from there. That should be more than enough to get you started. Let me know if you have any questions for me, and when you get that first customer using my advice. Hey man. If I were in your shoes I would consider investing in this program. It's exactly $1,000. But I signed up recently, so I can't give you a review yet. Maybe can give you some feedback. I joined this program because of some free content of this course included in his program. Would definitely recommend Fox Sales Legends if going that route. There's amazing value in that course for the money. Damn man. Thanks a lot. I've read Spin Selling and you actually applied its concepts on that example. I admit I just opened Gmail and started sending emails randomly without giving it some thought, which is a huge mistake I've done and is also stupid. I'll send 10 other emails today with this method you told me. Glad I can help. Now that you're putting more thought into your emails, I'm sure you'll see more results. Keep us updated. I've been getting a ton of ads in my Facebook feed recently for streamers and people try to break into streaming. They could be needing logos, merch designs, maybe some potential app. I'll give that a try, too. I'm quite confused lately. I remember that when I used to make money effortlessly with graphic design, it was because I was famous in the Call of Duty community on Twitter and people were retweeting my stuff and it was really easy to get clients that way. But now I'm a nobody and feel like it's much harder to get attention from people and let alone sell them stuff. But I'll still give it a try. Thank you. Bugatti is a French company making hypercars, not regular supercars, but okay lol. Seriously though. If you want to go for dropshipping, go for it. Don't wait for someone else to acknowledge your move and give you their authorization. Go ahead and do it. With that said, you have some serious design skills. You don't have to be an hourly rate designer. Get some project like a design agency would. Offer total branding designs for thousands. Partner with someone in courses and offer a website building plus whole design service. Something like that. You're creating the branding of a business or a product. Thanks man, that's truly appreciated. And I agree with the take a decision yourself thing. I came to realize that the less I'm able to make decisions by my own self, the more problems I encounter in life. Gotta take extreme ownership and be okay with making mistakes and learning from them no matter what. What made you known in those communities back then? Oh man, I can't even remember. I was 13 when I started. I started by doing YouTube banners for people for free. Then I started making YouTube banners for members in COD teams which were quite notorious back then. I then joined many of these teams and on Twitter everyone used to have the team name plus nickname. It was a sort of status symbol lol. I joined in a popular COD team as a graphic designer and gradually joined more famous teams like Team Synergy. And I was posting regularly my work on Twitter. That's it really. I wasn't focused on money and money came. I can't even believe this thinking back. To be honest, I wouldn't recommend dropshipping to anyone. If you invest the time and energy you will invest in it to Amazon FBA, wait a couple of more months, save around 2-3K more and launch your own product, you can scale much faster, and become a millionaire by the age of 23 to 25. If you want to gain experience fast but also blow through money fast, do dropshipping. If you want to earn money patiently and reliably, affiliate blogging. Earn commission for 1 to 2 years and then sell the entire website for 24x 48x your monthly revenue. Pay $10 to $15 for a mid-tier blog post, fix it up a little bit yourself and publish. Post 5 articles a month, for 12 months straight and focus on backlink building. Should cost you around $1,000 not including the commission you'll be collecting. I initially used my $1,500 to invest in currencies. Lost it in a year. I still like analyzing charts and reading the news on the subject, but the experience taught me that I need something safer. Maybe something more passive. 2 years ago, got interested in alternative investment platforms peer-to-peer or P2B. They vary in returns from 4% to 6%, most conservative ones Lending Club, Zopa, to 30% of most aggressive ones, such as Bondora. I think anything that is beyond 20% is unsustainable in this type of business model, as investors earn interest from the loans that are lent for quite high interest rates. The higher the interest rates, the more difficult it is to pay back the loans for businesses or individuals. So, I chose the golden middle and started looking for the platforms that still have attractive 10 to 15% annually and implemented safety standards, buyback guarantees, collateral. I have been looking more closely at one. The rates are around 13% and all of the loans offered for investors are secured by a buyback guarantee. I think to start with €1,000, and then add to the amount every month. Hope to create a nest egg for the future. What do you think?